Hi, my name is Kate Ham from AnamBliss, and today I want to talk to you about something that happened after a class yesterday. A student came up to me and was asking a question about Malasana, which is a deep squat for those of you who don't speak yoga or are just not sure. And she was saying that the teacher wanted her to have her hands in a particular position, but she was unable to do so. And she wanted to know why and what she could maybe do to actually make a difference. And her Malasana actually happens to be very similar to mine, where in the deep squat position, she kind of feels like she's gonna fall backwards. So from the side angle, as she comes down, she really needs to keep the hands forward to get the hips down low. And she could actually go down deeper than I. The main problem when you are, or two of the problems that can happen when you're having trouble getting low is either has to do with the knee or the hip. Most people tend to have a knee problem where the knee can't go over the toes quite enough, which adds in the restriction. Ideally in a deep squat, your knee is going to be pretty far forward. This is the end of my dorsiflexion range, which is going to limit what's happening. So for her, and for potentially me, some modification needs to happen. The hands reaching forward, hands down, maybe heels lifted, maybe a blanket underneath the heels. And those are all addressed the structural basis. But what is really the problem is actually more has to do sometimes with what the teachers are doing. We have this ideal aspect in our head of what a pose, what a movement should look like. A push-up needs to look this way, a squat needs to look this way. Now, how many times have you gone to do a squat? Knees must be forward, toes must be forward, and go down. That doesn't fit for everyone. So how our hip, our femur, actually goes into the acetabulum, into the pelvis, can change how far down you can go in certain ranges of motion. Depending on your torso length versus leg length, your femur length versus the tibia length, all of these structural components can change what you're doing and how you're going to look in a way that is not going to fit into that ideal image. I kind of think of it a little bit like in Project Runway, which I absolutely love to watch. The designers are always creating clothes for this perfect 6 foot tall, size 2, size 4 model, who is really an example of 0.2% of the population. It's probably a little higher than that. But the average person has curves, and whenever they were thrown a model who's actually had a normal human body, they didn't know what to do. And sometimes this is the same thing with movement and movement teachers. I've been to yoga classes where the teacher asked me to do something that my body just isn't capable of doing. My family is very inflexible. This is really genetic. I did ballet from the ages of 2 to 13 and could never come close to doing the splits. My brother was a gymnast and he fought tooth and nail to gain all the flexibility that he had. Genetically, my family is not geared towards being that limber, contortionist yoga practitioner. So when you come to my class, I meet you where you are. I look at where you're doing, what you're doing, what shape you're finding, and encourage you to maybe find a little nuance of a different shape. But I know it doesn't matter if your pose matches mine. Your pose is your pose. Your warrior 2 is your warrior 2. It's not mine. It's going to look different. It's going to feel potentially different. I don't live in your body. Maybe you've had an injury that is going to limit. Maybe you've had, it's the structure, as I mentioned previously, how your body is formed. It's the ratio. We can't change those, but we can change how we approach movement and how we teach. it's not up to me to tell you how you should do the pose. It's up to me to set a guideline as to what general aspects I'm looking for in a shape, and then for you to find out how it is for your body. So in your squat, I'm looking at, are your ankles, knees, and hips all bending? That's it. And whether it's a high squat, a low squat, whether your heels are lifted, sometimes it's better to ask you to come up here and modify for the movement that I'm trying to do. Sometimes I want you to focus more on just getting one leg, one knee over your toes. But ultimately, we're gonna find it together. We're gonna find your practice. So feel free to come join me for a class, and I'm actually really excited that I'm gonna get to teach a lot of these thoughts in a yoga teacher training soon in Worcester, Massachusetts. So keep your eyes open because a lot of this information isn't really out yet. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Kate Han from AnamBliss, and for us, the destination is wellness.